Alright, here we are, another Black Powder Epic Battles ACW update. This is basically just the progress that I made since the last vlog. As you can see, I have pretty much half a regiment done, as well as one cannon and one mounted general. I'm going to bring these up a little bit closer so that you guys can see, but please don't expect them to be beautiful. I just kind of splash paint on this. I'm just trying to get them painted so they don't look like gray plastic on the battlefield. So let me see if I could zoom in a little bit. So first off, we'll start with the battery. This one's almost done. I actually need to do a few more details on this. As you can see, two of the guys don't have any flesh colored paint, and then obviously I'm going to wash. For the basing, I'm actually using something called Liquitex. It's kind of like an acrylic medium that simulates sand, and I'm going to show that to you guys in a little while. This is one of the commanders. Again, with the Liquitex basing. Sorry, it looks really dark on camera here. I did use Leviathan blue contrast paint for the Union guys, their jackets, and then a lot of black and stuff. So I'm not really going to highlight these in any way because, again, from 3 feet away, you're not going to see that kind of detail. And I'm also not that kind of painter. Here's another commander with the Liquitex sand basing on there. It's a little shiny, but it adds a nice, wonderful texture. And then, obviously, you want to overlay that with some grass, static grass, or anything like that. Again, one of the cannons. But really, all the hard work has been with the infantry. So, yeah, it looks really dark in this lighting. I'm not using any natural lighting here. Let me see if I can focus just a little bit. So, really not that well detailed. I am not a fantastic painter, and then even at this scale, it shows that I'm not. But I'm actually glad that these are painted up. The command stand is almost done, as you can see. And then this will be the second rank on that particular stand. So that is what I've completed project-wise in terms of painting. I'm hoping to have this regiment done in the next couple days, and then I'll be working on the second regiment, and then obviously finish off the last regiment in the brigade before I start working on the Confederates. So, all right, before I move on with the rest of the update, this is what I'm using for basing material. It's Liquitex acrylic medium natural sand. It's in white, so you can paint it to whatever color you want the sand or ground to be in your models. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of it. I have barely scratched the surface on this particular item here. So definitely has made it easier to base my miniatures, and I highly recommend it. You can get this at any art store or craft store, arts and craft store, or you can get this off Amazon like I did. So, all right, so expanding into ACW a little bit more, I was able to get this at my friendly local gaming store. What I didn't realize was that this was quite heavy, and that's because the models in here, which I initially thought to be resin, were actually metal. So all of the models you see here are cast in metal, which makes it a lot heavier. So the question I want to ask you guys is, since I'm only dipping my toes into ACW, I wanted to see if there was a way that I can split this box between the Union and the Confederate sides. A whole cavalry brigade has 3 regiments of cavalry, but I was thinking of giving 1 regiment each to the Union and to the Confederates. But I'm not sure if that fits well into the rules. Tell me your thoughts on splitting this 2 regiments into a regiment each for the Confederates and for the Union. And yeah. So otherwise, what I was thinking was that I was going to have the Union Brigade supported by this Cavalry Brigade, and then get a second Confederate Brigade in order to kind of even out the forces. That's just another thing. I don't know if I can stomach to purchase another Cavalry Brigade set at this time. This was a lot more expensive than the 2 infantry brigades, both of which were around $23, $24 on Amazon, this was double the price, and I think it's because it was metal. And even looking on eBay, I've found that I paid a lot less for this at my local gaming store than I would have on eBay, which is kind of strange. And I don't know if there's just a shortage of printing on this, or that they stopped printing these. Obviously, metal is going to be more expensive than resin or plastic. I was actually expecting to see resin, but with the weight of the box being so heavy, obviously metal. But anyway, that is the Cavalry Brigade. I don't know if I'm going to do an unboxing of this. I might, in conjunction with a few other things that I have that I'm going to show you. So next up, I got Metal Command for both the Union and for the Confederates. So on the Confederate side, you have Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson, as well as a flag bearer. And then on the Union side, you have Ulysses S. Grant and George Meade, as well as a flag bearer. So definitely a great way to get a general onto the field for both sides. And you have your choice of either George Meade or U.S. Grant or Robert E. Lee and Stonewall Jackson. However, something came up recently, and this is thanks to Mark from Kitchen Wargamers. I'm going to link him down below. He actually sent off a couple things to me, and part of that is actually going to be redundancy with command here, but not what I was expecting. And now I'm going to show you what Mark sent me. That includes a couple generals. So Mark reached out to me after seeing the last Black Powder ACW update that we did on the channel, and he sent me a few things which I'm eternally grateful for. So thank you, Mark at Kitchen Wargamers. If you haven't subscribed to him or seen his channel, please feel free to go there and subscribe and watch his content. He makes good stuff, has a lot of expertise in bolt action, as well as learning or tutorials and stuff like that on how to play, as well as splashing into other games like Black Powder and all that fun stuff. So go ahead and check him out, link below. In any case, he sent me the George Meade pack. I think this is a limited edition that you would have gotten if you purchased from Warlord directly, as well as a Robert E. Lee and a flag bearer. So they both have, okay, so to break it down, you get George Meade and a flag bearer, you get Robert E. Lee and a flag bearer, and he also included a stand of troops here, which would probably be perfect for practicing my painting, which I've gotten a little bit of experience with, but you know, never hurts to try different methods with units that you're not going to use. So what's interesting to note, and let me see if I can, let's start with Robert E. Lee here. So this is resin. Let me get this stuff out of the way. This is resin, and this is Robert E. Lee with his hat off in salute to his troops, encouraging them to move forward. It's a beautiful figure, very well detailed. Okay, and then let me open up my metal Confederate command. So this is the metal version, and I'm going to show you the difference here. So let me get that out of the way. Here is Robert E. Lee on horse. Different pose. So let me get him back up here. So that's actually pretty awesome that they did a limited edition pose. And in fact, I'm not sure if the George Meade pose in this is different, than the one in the Union Command set. But since I don't have a need for two Robert E. Lees and two George Meades, I'm thinking of painting them, whichever one, up differently to represent a different Union and Confederate general. What's nice is that now I have two standard bearers, or two flag bearers on each side, and I can do multi-base on a couple of the generals. Like, for example, I would put a flag bearer, I really like this pose over the standard pose here. I'll probably use this for my Robert E. Lee. Put the flag bearer with him, and then have this as a different general, just paint him up a little bit differently. So, all right, I think that's pretty neat. In fact, let me see if we can see a difference in the George Meade that's in the set that Mark sent me. All right, my initial assessment was correct. We have two George Meads with different poses. So here's one with hat off, right there. And then one with hat on. Let me see if I can get this any clearer. The resin piece is much more detailed. This is definitely not U.S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant, I think. So hold on. I think, okay, so I think this is Ulysses S. Grant. Yeah, that looks like him. So, going back to my initial assessment, it is awesome that there are two different poses for the same general. So, obviously, going to use the copy, whichever pose, as a separate Union general. And yeah, I think that's fantastic. So, all right. The other thing that he sent me was the Epic Battles, I guess, quick start guide or rulebook. This is not the Black Powder rulebook, so this is specific to the two-player starter. And I believe, I'm hoping this is the case. So this gives you a bunch of the fluff, but I think this gives you all the correct measurements for range and for movement, or the adjustments that you have to make for that. So I have to compare, and let me try to zoom in here. Bring this up closer. I'll have to compare these ranges with what's in the standard Black Powder rule book. I think these might be, they look kind of similar. So I don't know if there is any difference in weapon range or movement in comparison to the standard Black Powder rules, but I think you can make those adjustments. In fact, I believe even for standard Black Powder, Rick Priestley and company recommends adjusting range and movement to suit your needs in terms of maybe the size of your figure. So anyway, it's kind of nice to have this because I didn't have it. I didn't go with the two-player starter. So, yeah, this is fantastic. Okay, and lastly, Mark sent me the buildings. So this comes with the farmhouse. This is the farmhouse and fence set from that two-player starter. So I was actually going to buy the farmhouse and building set. So it came with the 3 buildings, but I don't believe it came with the fencing. So it was nice that the fencing is in this set, I believe. Yeah, I'll have to open it up. But in any case, now I have terrain to go with my splash of ACW. This is going to be fantastic. So again, Mark, Kitchen Wargamers, very grateful. Thank you for sending me this fun, wonderful stuff. I'm going to be able to explore ACW and Epic Battles a little bit more closely, and we'll have a more fully featured table at that point because of you. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. I'm going to dig around in my pile of shame and see if I could send you something equally as cool. So, all right, guys, I know this update was kind of meandering. Wanted to show you a little bit of the painting update, which really wasn't that much. Wanted to show you some of the stuff that's going to be on the hobby table in terms of getting set up for ACW, and also asking that question of whether or not I should split that cavalry brigade to kind of even out the forces, or give the cavalry brigade to either one of the Union or the Confederates, and then add another infantry brigade to kind of balance it out. And then obviously now I've got generals galore, thanks to Mark, Kitchen Wargamers, as well as the ACW insert and buildings. So looks like we are going to go fully into ACW, but more at a slower pace. I mean, I could have gone with the two-player starter. It's actually a very competitive price right now on Amazon. It's a little over $100, sometimes a little under $100. I know that at my friendly local gaming store, it's a lot more expensive. But I also didn't want to be overwhelmed with all the painting because it is taking me a while just to get one regiment done. So I think the slow grow approach is a good alternative to getting into epic battles, especially for ACW and perhaps even Waterloo or Napoleonics. In fact, I feel that the Waterloo brigade sets that have come out are a better deal than the ACW stuff. But obviously ACW was Warlord's test bed for the Epic Battles system, and now that they've found their footing, hopefully that means the improvements that have been released for the Napoleonic version will kind of circle back to ACW. Because again, I can't justify getting into Epic Battles Waterloo because I have 28mm black powder all over the place. So anyway, I feel that this has been meandering and I think I've talked enough. If you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new hobby vlog coming out of the channel. And then click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That is the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat you about Black Powder Epic Battles, ACW, and any other game that we cover on the channel. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more hobby vlog from WarGamingNewb Historical.